Hi guys and welcome to the level 8 to level 120 Sorcerer guide. The reason for this level range is because at level 120 you unlock the Death Echo spell, which then quite a lot changes your playstyle. So at that point we'll do the following guide. The following guide will likely be level 120 to level 275, as again at 275 we get another breakpoint. Anyways, for this video, this is a beginner's guide to Sorcerer. This is a level 8 to level 120 Sorcerer guide. So this guide kind of assumes basic knowledge of Tibia. This is not for like a total beginner who's literally picking up the game for the first time. Nevertheless, hopefully it's still going to be useful even if you are that kind of player. However, the assumption of this guide is that you do have a bit of knowledge experience, or at least that you can research by yourself using this guide as like a starting point. Obviously, I'm assuming a premium account as well. I'm assuming a little medium budget for some equipment and supplies, that you don't have like magic level 10, and zero equipment. And finally, my guides are primarily focused on solo content and solo players, but I think everybody should be able to find here something useful. First thing we're going to cover is the rotation and the playstyle in this level range. So this is post Vocation Rebalance 2026. And honestly, first thing I want to say, in this level range, you can almost ignore the Vocation Rebalance. If you want to play the exact same way you were playing prior to the rebalance, you're probably not going to notice a big difference. What I mean by that is you're going to go with, strike spells at early levels, then go into AoE runes like avalanches and great fireballs until level 120. You're going to be fine. No problem whatsoever. Nevertheless, let's just look into what your options are. So on level 8 to level 28, you definitely go in single target strike spells like Ixori Vis, Ixori Frigo, likely on like a stealth ring when you're hunting like Corims or Stone Refiners. Then at level 28, you unlock Thunderstorms. At level 30, you unlock GFBs and avalanches. That really opens up your experience places. Then from level 55 to level 120, you can either stick to the AoE runes and it's fine, or you can consider some spell rotations. So for example, in the Fire Mastery, which you unlock at level 20, you can go something like Great Fire Wave and Rune as your rotation. Pretty good. This is actually very common. Something you're going to be doing at Middle Spike and Ancient Scarabs, for example. You're going to be alternating Great Fire Wave and Runes. Or you can go for like a full spell rotation, something like Great Fire Wave, Energy Wave, Great Fire Wave, Rune, or even like the Lightning spell or something. Your choice. I generally found that just using Runes and Great Fire Wave was more than enough. For the energy rotation, you can go something like Energy Wave, Great Fire Wave, Lightning, Great Fire Wave. Of course, the Great Fire Waves in this rotation would be converted into energy element. Alternatively, you can go something like Energy Wave, Lightning, Rune without the Great Fire Waves. Also works. Because again, runes are still very strong in this level range. Now for the death rotation, it's not really possible. Death Echo is not available until level 120. You do get the Great Death Beam at 66, and you can consider you could consider using that, I think, at Worms. This is like the only spot where it kind of makes sense in this level range, and you can go something like Great Death Beam into Energy Wave into SD. For example, yeah, like I say, at Worms. But you're not really going to have a valid death rotation to use anywhere else, really. Moving on, for the Imbues. Imbues is something that is extremely important. If you're a beginner player, you haven't really used Imbues before, then do make sure to read about them and invest in them. It's the single most powerful early game mechanic to speed up your progress. It's totally worth. You're going to spend like, €5 worth of money to save like 10 hours worth of effort. It's totally worth it. If you are free to play, you can consider farming for the items to make the imbues, but generally speaking, it's something that you really do want. I'd recommend basic imbues as soon as possible, and basically all gear that can support it. You can buy the basic imbue scrolls off the market, usually very cheap. If you have budget, I do recommend using powerful imbues from around level 50, unless you're like, super rated. Of course, you can use powerful imbues from level 8, but I strongly recommend it from like level 50. And from level 80, I just have to assume you have full powerful imbues on basically every piece of gear, because that is the expectation in modern Tibia, and that is where a lot of the power comes from. So you do have to have that. If not, you obviously have to expect that you're going to be progressing a lot slower. If you can't afford all the full imbues, then what you really want to prioritize is the powerful void imbues in the helmet and the wand. They let you hunt for a lot longer, and they basically very good. If you can't afford it, skip the strike, skip the vampirism, but do try to make sure to pick up the powerful void imbues. Moving on for the equipment, here we have a little table of equipment that I expect you would be. Oh, I'm going to read this one slightly off. Let me move that up a bit. There we go. And now you can see the full table. So this is the item progression that I kind of expect these days. Now, the things in red, things that are in red indicate high budget choices. So if you all have like a if you already have a high level character and you just want to power level a lower level sorcerer, then you can follow this red colors. If you kind of more normal progression, then you can just follow the stuff in black. In helmet that would be a Hat of the Mad into Yalahari Mask. In brackets, I indicate the imbuements that I expect you to have. So I would expect you to have the powerful Void in the Yalahari Mask at level 80. If you are a high budget person, you have a Mage Cap with powerful Void and powerful Epiphany imbuements already from level 8. In the armor, I use Focus Cape into Royal Scale Robe at level 100. If you have high investment, then you go for Dwarven Armor with powerful Vampirism. And in this level range, I recommend powerful Earth Protection. That's usually the best one for Ancient Scarabs and for Middle Spike. And this armor basically going to last you till like level 400. Dwarven Armor is basically best in slot until you unlock the Soul Mantle at level 400. So definitely worth picking up. Even if you are a lower budget player, do try and grab that Dwarven Armor as soon as you can. It is expensive, but it is extremely powerful because of the 2 imbue slots as well as the physical protection on it. For the spellbook on low level, I tend to start with a Demon Shield or Mastermind Shield, just to help you stay alive a little bit more with the physical protection, with the defense that helps against physical damage. Then I usually upgrade to Spellbook of Mind Control at level 50, or Spellbook of Dark Mysteries, or Wooden Spellbook at level 80. Wooden Spellbook if you need Earth Protection, Spellbook of Dark Mysteries otherwise. However, you still use the Demon Shield and Mastermind Shield. It's not like you drop them all together. If you're at high physical based respawns, then you do still use their Demon Shield or Mastermind Shield to help you stay alive. That's spot dependent. For the legs, I recommend Dwarven legs. Once cap isn't a huge issue, so obviously at level 8, you're not really going to have the cap. Dwarven legs weigh like, I think, 50 or 60, so you probably don't actually want to wear them at level 8, but from like level 20 or something, you do want to be using those. On really low level, you can consider blue legs or something like that. At like level 50, you can consider like Terror legs for like very heavy earth damage respawns, but generally Dwarven legs is what I use all the way up to like level 300 or so. At level 300, you unlock the Dawnfire Pantaloons, I believe, but until then, Dwarven legs are basically best in slot. For the boots, you go with Boots of Haste or Soft Boots. I go with Boots of Haste. However, if you don't have imbuements, then Soft Boots maybe will help you sustain for a little bit longer. For the weapon, I start with Wand of Vortex into Wand of Cosmic Energy into Wand of Storestorm, Wand of Defiance, and then Dream Blossom Staff at level 80. The reason I like these ones is because they have mana on hit and mana on kill proficiencies, which are very powerful in these level ranges, because you AoE hunting, killing tons of things. Mana on kill, very, 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 very nice. Really enjoyed this progression, so I do recommend picking up those in the weapon proficiency system. However, if you have high budget, you can still go for either the T1 Spike Sword at level 8 or the Jin Blade at level 35. The Jin Blade is technically better because it does have, again, that very powerful mana on kill proficiency, which means you just have crazy sustain. However, I do find that you can just forget those kind of weapons these days, since the rebalance. Using regular ones is perfectly fine. And then from level 80, I do upgrade to Dream Blossom Staff with the powerful Void and Intricate Strike imbuements. It doesn't yet have powerful strike, but it does have the Intricate Strike, plus the mana gain on hit, plus the damage that it deals from the basic attack. I do believe that this is at level 80 better than the Jin Blade or the T1 Spike Sword, although it's not a huge difference, to be honest. If you've got an imbued Spike Sword or Jin Blade, feel free to use it until higher levels. For the amulets, we start with a Werewolf Amulet at level 8, and then we upgrade to a Foxtail Amulet at level 100. Nothing really else there. For the rings, we use Butterfly Ring at level 50 and Ring of Green Plasma from level 100. I believe you also have that ring from level 8 that you get from New Haven. I forget what it's called. It's got like one armor, right? There's like a Guardian Ring or something. Of course, at level 8, you can use that. You can also use some other like protection rings, let's say like a Stealth Ring. You can also use like a Life Ring, Ring of Healing as well, but not very important. The ring slot is not so important at this level. Moving on, for the wheel, what I want to mention is, first of all, make sure to pick up the 2,500 hunting task point from the NPC Walter Jaeger, entice for 5 wheel points. So you can go there and say something like high rewards, and he will get, if you're a new character and you've not done it before, and you'll get 2,500 hunting task points that you can then exchange in the weekly reward menu for 5 wheel points. So very, very nice. Do make sure to do that. And then I recommend to go and pick up basically this gem slot in the bottom right. You will need 50 points for that, so you'll pick that up at like level 95 or so. And then you ideally put HP gem in there, flat HP. However, flat mana, for example, is fine, or just anything is fine. But you know, the HP gem that is the best, but just getting the gem is generally the best. Anyway, for all other wheel recommendations, you can check out TibiaPal.com/wheels. For quests, I also recommend you check out TibiaPal.com/quest reference. This contains all the quests. This is the list that I recommend doing between the levels of 8 and 120, but it's going to be easy if you just check out the website. I'll put the link in the description down below, and this will be updated over time. So even, 5 years from now, hopefully that will be updated, whereas this video may be a bit out of date at that point. And similarly for hunting places, this is the hunting suggestions. Here we have this, again, TibiaPal.com/hunting. You can go into the sorcerer section. This is everything below level 120 sorted by raw experience. So your best spot is like Ravenous Lava Lurkers at level 100. Exotic Cave, Edrinware South. But the general progression, approximate power gaming progression as of right now, which is July 2026, would be something like Stain on Targuna until like level 30. Alternatively, going to Stone Refiners or Corums and Port Hope on Stealth Ring. Then from level 30 to level 50, you've got like Upper Spike or Corums, Port Hope, or like Chore with like runes. Then level 50 to level 80 is Ancient Scarab's Middle Spike. Level 80 to level 100 would be Ixupan or Quares in Liberty Bay. And then from level 100 to like level 200 is Ravenous Lava Lurkers. So that's your EXP progression. But again, I do recommend you just check out TibiaPal.com/hunting. That will be updated. And again, 5 years down the line, when this video maybe is a little bit a bit outdated, hopefully TibiaPal will still be getting updated. And that's it. That's what I have for you today, guys. Basically, the whole level 8 to level 120 progression. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. And I hope this stays accurate for as long as possible. But of course, updates in the future can change things a little bit. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.